Hey there, I want to share with you what I've learned with Jim Kwik's Superbrain quest with Mindvalley about chain linking. And part of the chain linking process is that we learn by telling stories. If I take you back to when you was at school, can you remember a subject that you found really hard? Something where you was asked to remember technical information, but you just couldn't remember it because either you was bored, you was unmotivated, it just plain wasn't that interesting. Now for me, if I think back at school, I think of the periodic tables in chemistry. There was no way I was going to remember those tables because I was bored. But what I'm going to share with you today is by using Jim Kwik's chain linking process, or how he showed us. I'm going to show you how you can remember 10 elements of that periodic table in order. So let's take a look at what they are. These elements start from number 11 to 20. So I'm going to read them out to you and then see which ones you can remember. Sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium. Now I know I've gone fast, but it doesn't matter. You can pause the video and then see how many you remember. Now we're going to add any of the 9 memory principles. Now the 9 memory principles work somewhere like this. From that list, could you remember the first one? More likely, because it was the first one that your brain captures, or maybe it was the last. Or sometimes because we remember things by when they're organised or chunked. So for example, if I said basket, biscuit, breadcrumbs, they're all B's. And then the other element is having emotion, words that touch us with emotion. So things like attracted, thirsty, shocked. Then the other element is different or unique. So along this presentation, you're going to see something which is really quite bizarre. And the best people to teach us are children because of their imagination. So they'll use something very different, thinking in pictures of how they're going to remember something. So in this presentation, you're going to see a dinosaur wearing a t-shirt or an alligator running down the road. it wouldn't happen. So you're more likely to remember it. Then another principle is familiar. If you share the same name as somebody that you've just met, so you're more likely to remember that, or somebody that you've just met has the same name as someone in your family. The next one is visualizing, because we're thinking in pictures. When you're at the airport or you're in the aeroplane, you don't see the sign, please now fasten your seatbelt. You see a fasten your seatbelt or no smoking sign. And that's any language, doesn't matter what language you speak, you understand the pictures. Connecting words that can be connected to each other. So like, for example, a swimming pool. What the water inside the swimming pool contains chlorine. And guess what? Chlorine was one of the words that is in the periodic table. And then association, linking words with associations. So this is what I mean. So sodium sounds like soda. Magnesium, magnet. Aluminium, alligator. Silicon, traffic cone. So here they are again. So have a look. This is my terminology, my imagery, and it will be different for you. And the best way of remembering is actually creating that story from your memory, from your visualization, using any one of those or more of those principles. So how is that going to help me, I hear you ask? Good question. Because when we use chain linking, we can actually apply this way of learning to help remember everyday things by using any one or more of the 9 principles. So you got the idea? Right, now for some fun. Sally was walking down the road drinking her soda, wearing her magnetic bracelet, which attracted an alligator who was wearing a traffic cone on his head, who attracted a brontosaurus wearing a t-shirt called Fosse. But because of all the chasing, Fosse didn't see the golfer and knocked him into the swimming pool, which splashed Aragon, who was peeling his potato, so he could get his daily source of calcium. So let's take another look at those words. So using chain linking and adding any one or more of those 9 principles, you can see how you'll be able to remember something forwards and backwards. Because you're not going to forget something as bizarre as an alligator running down the road with a traffic cone on his head. Here's a Chinese proverb. What I hear, I forget. What I see, I remember. What I do, I understand. So think about it. Have you ever heard someone say, I remember your name, but I can't picture your face? So can you think of a story to remember the first 10 elements? Why not give it a go? You never know. It might be fun. Thanks for listening and have a lovely day.